So the entire city is on fire, burning, and nothing but rubble, and Kazane and herself is making a tiny little Ayaka doll. I support this 100%. Interesting! So, Craftwork of Fire. Takamiya was called this episode, and this was a major mystery that was just dropped on us this episode. I mean, now we know that the White Princess Evermillion is inside Takamiya. We've all came to the conclusion, most likely Takamiya is getting his extreme amount of power because of the White Princess inside of him. But why is he being called the Craftwork of Fire? We know Ayaka has fire-based magic, but exactly why is Takamiya being called this? So, a lot of questions I have on that entire just drop of plot that was put on us by Weekend this episode, and I really respect Weekend as a villain in this episode, the way she actually manages to fight back. Usually when we see a villain, the villain uses their magic if they have magic and they don't care for nothing else, but I have to hand it to Weekend for actually thinking outside the box and not relying on her magic and using actual real bombs to fight back. That was shocking. I did not expect something like that in this series. I will say, well thought out villain that managed to think ahead, and the entire scene when I saw Weekend get captured by the actual meat fodder of the series, I was thinking like, she got caught way too easy. I thought she was one of the final bosses. And then all of a sudden she says that, I don't need magic to defeat you. You're all stupid to realize this. So I felt like that was really good depth to her character, and it makes me respect her more as a character and a villain. We also find out that there's an accomplice to Weekend. Someone's helping her in the background. Most likely it's that witch with the mask that has the mask on. Now, speaking of the witch with the mask, I have a big theory about that. I think the entire reason why Weekend knows so much about Kazane and the entire lair of the entire heart of the workshop witches is because there must be an infiltrator, like a liar, that's infiltrated inside the workshop witch's like hideout and probably is displaying as one of them. That's what my entire theory is, because for Weekend to know so much information, she seems like one of those type of characters that would probably put an infiltrator inside of the workshop witches to be able to, I guess, know more information. So tell me, do you think that theory is honestly correct? Anyways, besides that, I did enjoy this episode all around. There were some good comedy elements, especially with the Fabulous Five. Once again, Tom Popo is just adorable. The way she says that she has to freaking like take bombs off of people with this spell to pay her rent. Kasumi, man, you gotta love how she orders around Tom Popo and the gang. That is really freaking hilarious, because Tom Popo just going out of her way to just pay for rent to fight against her own fellow witches was pretty freaking funny. I don't know if it was just me. Now, one scene that was absolutely just insane and overpowered was with Ayaka's roundhouse kick to the face to that tower witch. Oh my lord, that looked painful. I thought she used magic. I mean, when the characters like talking to me, said, I thought you couldn't use magic, Ayaka. And then pretty much she says she didn't use magic. She literally hit her with her just bare strength. I was like, oh my god, she is really overpowered. Ayaka once again proves her extreme overpowerness in this episode, and I love it so much. It really just demonstrates her character of how epic she is, and we find out some backstory about her, of how Kazane put her through some brutal torture with telling her to actually fight these magical beasts without her magic. So that was some nice good backstory, and I can't believe how Kazane really is. Speaking of Kazane, she is just a wacky character. I mean, I cannot believe she's just making a freaking like figurine of her own daughter and all sorts of other people inside of a cell while everybody's fighting to the death. I do love the atmosphere though of the city. The way the city was just betrayed with it on fire and all that. That was some beautiful artwork I feel like the animation staff did, and I enjoyed the music alongside that. That really added the tension up in this episode. Really, this episode brings a lot to light of different mysteries and doesn't answer much of our questions. The reason why I can say this is because Takamiya, we find out he actually makes a contract with the workshop witch's heart that pretty much shields the entire city from harm. So, this is interesting. This is a major thing that I am trying to understand. We know the White Princess is unbelievably strong. Now we know about the Craftwork of Fire that Takamiya is being called. So, exactly, where is his power coming from? Is it coming from this Craftwork of Fire, or is it coming from the White Princess? So how is Takamiya staying awake, conscious, without dying, when we heard earlier in the episode that whoever was to go try to make a contract with the city most likely would die and drain up in like less than a couple seconds. So Takamiya has an extraordinary amount of magic to be able to actually deal with all that damage that's going on and be able to stand up conscious. I mean, Kazune's crazy in herself, but what is causing Takamiya to have so much magical power? So really, once again, I get more Shakugan no Shana vibes from this series. It goes to show you Yuji has so much like in common with our main main character Takamiya, and I love this about this series. A lot of people's been complaining on Takamiya's character, saying he's like very plain and dull. This is technically how Yuji started out in the first season, and if they do decide to do a second season of Witchcraft Works, most likely we'll get to see him progress as a character slowly into a better character that'll be badass and epic. Tell me your thoughts on this, everybody. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you hate this episode? What was your opinions on this entire episode? And what'd you think about that torture scene with the freaking, like, hair cutter? I mean, that was freaking awful, okay? I wouldn't want to get my hair cut like that, like a freaking commando, like, army thing. That was awful. That was freaking awful. Kurono, you're a mean freaking tower witch doing that to just someone random trying to get information. That's absurd amount of torture. Anyways, tell me your thoughts on this episode. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Everybody, love you so much. Chibi out.